I'm going to read from the Gospel according to Matthew. It's chapter 14, and it starts with verse 13. It's the story of the feeding the 5,000. Now when Jesus heard this, he withdrew from there in a boat to a deserted place by himself. But when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them, and he cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is now late. Send the crowds away so they may go into the villages and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, "They need not go away. You give them something to eat." And of course, we know what happens after that. He blesses the loaves and the fishes, and all were fed. I'm going to read something else from the book of John. This is from chapter 21, verse 15. When they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my lambs." A second time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him a third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter felt hurt because he had said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." Two verses here. You feed them. And then Jesus repeatedly asking Peter to feed my sheep, tend my sheep. Tomorrow night, here at Sharon Lutheran, because we had to make some changes to our summer plans, we're not going on our regularly scheduled trips to Milwaukee and Denver. Tomorrow night, we're starting local service work. We're kicking it off tomorrow evening with a kind of a service over Zoom with our students and adult leaders, and we're gonna kind of do the why. Why do we do these things? What are we doing? Let's talk about what this means to you, what it means to the people we're going to be helping. We're working with many different organizations around Grand Forks this week, from starting tomorrow until Tuesday of next week, August 4th. The purpose of this is a couple things. It's to help local organizations that help people in our community, to support them, show them that the church is here for them, that we support their causes and what they do. The other thing is this, it's to help us understand that there's a need here in Grand Forks, this town we live in. I live in the south part of Grand Forks in an apartment, but down by the golf course, it's kind of a newer part of town. And you know, generally it's houses that are a little bit more up there, in some cases, generally your white suburban families, right? There are parts of Grand Forks that aren't like that. And we don't see them because, to be completely honest, I go from my apartment building to the church here and to the store, maybe Target, maybe Hugo's to get groceries. That's really all I do in this town, is go to those places. What we don't see is there are areas of Grand Forks that are not like that. There are areas of Grand Forks that have a wide economic disparity compared to what even I'm used to. And there are parts that are more racially and ethnically diverse in this city. You don't think of Grand Forks as this giant city with these divisions, but they're there. And there are people who aren't as well off as someone like myself. They don't have the same opportunities. They don't have the same securities. They don't have the same means that I have. And I think that gets lost on us sometimes because we're in Grand Forks and these are our people. We all go to the same stores, we go to the same churches, we all go to the hockey games, we all do a lot of the same things in our group. And you look at it, and there are people who they're not part of that group, right? They live on the margins, is what you would say. They don't have all those same things that we do. And so I think it's important that we're doing service in Grand Forks this week, because I think the people who take part in this service, including myself and our adult leaders and our students, they're going to come to understand their city in a way that they maybe haven't seen it before. There are people in this town that are whose needs aren't being met. Let's put it that way. Their needs aren't being met socially, economically. Their needs are not being met in a way that is giving them a secure lifestyle, any kind of a comfortable lifestyle in any way. So we're working with different organizations, the CVIC, Community Violence Intervention Center. If I got that acronym wrong, I apologize, but they help people going through relational problems, looking for places to be and be safe, have a safe home, things like that. We're working with the food, Meals on Wheels. We're going to be getting meals to people out there who rely on them because they don't have the ability to go to the store. They don't have people around them to help them get their things that they need, and they rely on those meals to survive. We are working with sustainable farming co-op that is going to have a farmers market booth downtown. We are working with just our church in general. We're gonna help our church. We have these boards that do some of the work. We're gonna bring in some people to help them because it shouldn't always be on them to do all the work. It shouldn't always be on them to handle all the things, right? We have volunteers and people willing and ready to help. So we're gonna bring some people in to help with some church projects that maybe weren't getting done, or maybe didn't have the manpower to get done, or people don't have the time to do them as volunteers. So we're going to work to do some of those things. I named a couple. There's quite a few. LaGrave on First is a place that takes in people and gives them a place to live. And we're going to provide a meal for them on Monday night. So, things like that. And we don't see it always, right? If I never was aware of these organizations or what they do, if no one ever made me aware, and a lot of it comes from working with the church, I'm aware of them, but if I never made a point to be aware of them, I would never know that they existed, and I would never know that they had people that I might know that I have interacted with in this town that utilize those services for their everyday lives. So we're trying to bring awareness. We're trying to help where needed. We're trying to participate in this plan that God has for Grand Forks. And that's really what it's all about. In the story of the feeding of the 5,000, when Jesus says, you feed them. That's what we're doing for service, right? We can pray all we want, and praying is awesome, and it does wonders. But really, if we're praying to God to help these people in our community, God has already helped them because God made us, and God gave us the ability and the means to help those people. Therefore, God is already helping them. It's all there for them. It's on us to go out and do it. Just like Jesus told the disciples, you feed them. Jesus was telling them, it's on you. You have the ability to do this. And so they did, and they fed everybody. When you see Jesus repeatedly asking Peter to feed his sheep, feed his lambs, he's telling Peter, he's like, yeah, you love me, you follow me, you listen to my teachings. Ultimately, it's going to be you who's going to feed my sheep, feed my lambs. You're the one who's going to take that message out. You're the one who's going to spread the love of God to all people that are crying out for it. You're the one who is going to enact my plan on this earth It's not going to be me, Jesus. It's going to be you, the people that I teach. And so that's what service work is to me. We are doing God's work in the community. God is already here. God is all around us. God is with those people who need help. And God has made us and given us the ability and means to help those people. And when we go out and do service work, we're enacting God's plan. We are participating actively in this plan that God has for our world and our community. So that's really the purpose of service work. And it's really something that I think can get lost. One of the things I made this comment the other night when we had our leadership meeting, and like I said to them, I hope it doesn't come off wrong. There are some ways that I am sort of excited and glad that this happened to us this summer, because it's causing us not to focus so much on the trip, right? The getting in the vans or buses and going places, seeing new things and meeting new people and all those things. And none of that is bad. That's a good thing. Making pilgrimages is also part of religion, right? It's part of being God's hand and feet in the wider world. But what this time has done for us is caused us to look smaller. Not smaller, but more personal to the needs right in front of our faces, right? And in a lot of ways, this has really opened my eyes to the ways that we can help in our community. And I hope what it does for our volunteers and leaders is it opens their eyes to the needs right here in their community. Like I said, we may be helping people they know. We may be helping people they see every day. And we're bringing awareness to organizations in our community doing good work, things that are sorely needed. And because of this pandemic and trips getting upended, I look at it as God helping us find a new way to refocus on what's right here, where the church can be in our community. And so I think this is a really good opportunity for us to make some change, make some difference right here at home. Change we're going to see in people we know. We're going to change lives, people that we might, know personally even. So I'm really excited. So that's what we're doing. Starting tomorrow night through August 5th next week, we're going to do a parking lot worship with the students and volunteers and talk a little bit about our service experience. We're calling it Local Mission Trip, but we've got shirts that say COVID-19 Mission 20. It's like a scoreboard type thing. I think that's awesome. We got Sharon masks printed up for everybody who's involved. They're super cool. You're going to see us around town, hopefully doing some of these things. We're going to be sidewalk chalking. We're going to be delivering goods to different organizations. We're going to be putting together meal kits for St. Joe's to help people be fed. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff over the next week. And like I said, I'm just really, it brings me this really cool sense of peace and being part of something that we know that we're going to be helping our community. So that's my bit for today. I just wanted to talk about how we can feed the sheep, how we can feed them, how when we pray to God for help to help these people, God has already deputized us to go out and do the feeding and be those people and use what we have to help, to participate actively in this plan for God's world, and just be a part of that. And it's a really great experience. So if you want to be involved, let us know. We've got things to do that you can help with, and pay attention to us as we do these things. I think you're going to see some really neat interactions and a lot of good things that are good for your soul through this service work. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.